I write music reviews. It's called Billy's Bunker Music Reviews because I came out to Cincinnati and ended up writing in a stone basement. And I asked one of the kids, when I first came out, I was in part of a family that didn't work out. But it was like trying to tune in something with meaning because Crystal, or Clear Channel was propaganda. And that's where the name came from. But, that all started when I was at an open mic, I guess a little like this one, except it was all music, and this one woman was just far and away better than anyone else. So I tried to promote a concert for 2 months, and nobody I called came at all. And then her drummer said, maybe you should be writing about music, so that's what I ended up doing. This woman's interesting. Her name is Sydney Robinson. Whoops. And the album's called Spokesman for the Shoeless. She saw Oh Brother Where Art Thou and decided to do something called alternative mountain music. So that's the setup. You'd normally see pictures and stuff, but this is the review. My reviews are different, and they start out with quotes generally, Aeschylus or whatever. And this one starts out with a quote describing some Walker Evans photographs of people in Appalachia. The image they see is perhaps a shoeless child standing on the porch, a squalid shack, or a toothless man wearing tattered clothes. These pictures had far-reaching and lasting power, a fact not lost on those being photographed. It's describing the Walker Evans photographs. And the second quote at the top of the review is from a site called Kids Talk About God. And they asked a question to the kids and you got various answers. And this one, the question was, if you were king or queen of the world, what would you do? Claire, age 6, answered, I would be normal. And if someone did something wrong, I would throw them in the dungeon. So that begins the review. And then my part starts now. In quotes. Jebediah was a preacher in my town. An ominous beginning. I want the song to stop for a moment. The story of this song isn't very nice, but the music is pretty. Sydney Robinson spoke the warning. She opens every show with this song, opens the album with this song, and opens the listener straight to the core. The rockers at the Roxy were blindsided by it. The drinkers at Bordello got quiet. Most of the band stands back and watches. A pretty girl in a long-sleeved white cotton dress that reaches the floor, pure white with a little embroidery, a dress that suggests a baptismal outfit. With eyes dilated like a frightened deer, triumphant black hair and a solemn look of Texas determination, the singer takes us into her confidence. Sydney tells a story that no family wants to hear in a song because it wouldn't come out right any other way. Quoting from the song, he kept his word and taught good to all the people, but he, for himself, salvation he had not found. From his mighty voice fell wisdom upon my young ears of 10. He told my mama I needed teaching. She obliged, and I followed him. Then an astonishing, desperate, hopeful prayer of a thing. Oh, what I would change if I were queen. Magic thought. Oh, 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 Kentucky weeds that grow inside of me. Those weeds are poetry born of pain. Quoting from the song again. He said, I see you through Jesus' eye, and I know all your evil deeds. For a taste of heaven, I was to do just what he said. We're all family, hearing this story for the first time. Oh, what I would change if I were queen. It's the voice of a 10-year-old. After that slack rope walk of the song, there's no need to talk about honesty. Sydney Robinson is the spokesman for the shoeless. She finds that toothless poverty in all of us, the barefoot truth, the humanity that is all too aware, the wisdom seldom spoken out loud, the Kentucky weeds that grow inside. Sydney's voice is an astonishing thing. I'm flipping around for examples. Tammy Wynette has the same piercing clarity in the power of the song, I Don't Want to Play House. She has the phrasing and honesty of Loretta Lynn singing God Has No Mistakes. And a song about a girl who comes from Louisiana, Sydney takes it up quite a few notches to equal the unbridled force and abandon of Janis Joplin on Piece of My Heart. I first saw Sydney sing a song at a squirrely open mic thing. Nobody was listening. Gossip and chatter filled the air. There was no band, but Sydney even abandoned her guitar. She began by stomping her foot back and forth to the rhythm of determination. She sang the song in Burbank, by the way, over the sound of the boots on the stage. Even though the skies are blue, Texas, I miss you. It takes an act of God to stop the sound of 36 singer-songwriters talking away the time until they get to sing, all of them. 10 empty rows from the stage, but Sydney's voice in that song was the very rushing mighty wind. Tony Hoffer produced this first alternative mountain music record with a wise word to the band. It should sound like it's being played on the front porch in Appalachia. There's no studio endings and no unnecessary frills, nothing that would embarrass the neighbors. Tony has produced some terrific music in all sorts of genres: Beck, the Francellis, the Kooks, Dean Bradfield, Idlewild, Phoenix, and Bell and Sebastian. He got this one right. He knew what he was after. And there's a song by song, but it kind of doesn't make sense to read that at this point. And so that's the review. And if we can play that one song, you'll know what I just described. Cute girl, but yay high with great big Texas hair. She was something.